Welcome everyone. I am so excited to share this new class with you today. I'm always all about helping you guys make money and grow your business, and hopefully after watching this class you will decide if adding balloon decor is for you. The other really good news is that we at Silly Farm now have the balloon rings in stock. We have them in white and in gold, and what I'm going to do today is show you how to create a balloon backdrop using the organic balloon method. And the great part about this is that you don't have to be fabulous at balloons. You also don't need a lot of equipment, and it's a great way to upsell your customers in addition to adding more revenue to your business. Now, one of my favorite parts about using the rings is that you know how many balloons you're going to use. You also know the amount of space, and you know the conditions. And when I mean that, or what I mean by that is when you venture into more balloon decor, it gets a little harder in terms of setup, takedown, supplies you need. So this is a great way to start. It doesn't require a whole lot of setup. It's a one-person job if you figure out how to do it. So I hope that you follow along, you have a good time, and if you have questions, make sure to reach out to us at sillyfarm.com, at Faba TV. And as always, thank you for tuning into Faba TV. Make sure you watch all the other amazing classes. We do have great balloon classes from Vanessa Petroni, from Josh, from Lindsay Foster. We have Angie from, I believe it's Blissberry Balloons in Orlando. So if you want to learn more, just stay tuned. There's a lot more on the way. All right, let's get started. Okay, so first let's go over all the different pieces or the materials that you're going to need. The good thing is, back in the day when you wanted to start balloon decorating, you really needed to have much more equipment, or you wanted to invest in at least a really good blower. To get started, just to see if you want to do balloon decor, you can start off with this balloon blower. It's very inexpensive. I believe that it's $20 on Amazon. It has a double blower, so it just makes it a lot faster to blow two at one time. This behind me is the balloon ring. As you can see, it comes in 12 pieces. So you're going to have each of the piece of the circle, 2 feet that you see right here, and I will show you a little video next on how to assemble it. It is a one-person job. I mean, if you have an extra person to help you, that's great. If not, you can do this yourself. In total, it weighs about 3 pounds. So that's great. If you are going to be doing this outside, I do suggest having some sandbags to weigh it down. But this, again, you can do this all by yourself, so don't be intimidated. So it will arrive to you in pieces. So look, it packs really small. You can put it in a duffel bag. You don't need tons of room, and your blower is maybe 6 inches. So it's not a lot of work. Now, you've seen these beautiful organic garlands. That's what they're called. So the great thing about organic garlands is that they don't have to be as precise. So it's a little bit easier to get started with them because it's not like your typical spiral balloon arch where there's a pattern where they have to be the same size in order for everything to come out really nice. So don't stress yourself. As long as you can inflate and tie balloons, you are going to be good to go. Now, one little trick when creating organic garlands is that you want to have different size balloons. So in general, most of the balloons that we use are between 11 and 12 inches. That's like your standard size. And then you'll want to have some smaller ones like 5 inches. And then to really make your design go to the next level, I suggest getting 19-inch, 17-inch, 18-inch balloons. So that way, I have some here in green. So that way, what you have is just a good selection and variety of balloons that's going to make your design look a little bit more full. Now you can always intertwine some mylar balloons, which we'll be doing, to just add that little extra pop. And then that way, when you put your design together, it looks really big, really cumbersome, and very impressive. So if you're a face painter and you want to add any balloon services to your business, this is a great way to upsell your customers. You can say, I can offer face painting and a happy birthday backdrop. And this is a great place to put your birthday cake or a photo op. And again, really simple and easy to do. Once you get the formula going, you'll know how many balloons that you're going to need to use. You'll know what your cost is and how long it's going to take you. Because the cool thing with this arch is that you can pre-blow the balloons. So if you have a big enough car to stuff your balloons in, you can make it ahead of time, get there, and it'll take you 10 minutes to set up. So this is a good thing. So let's start off with blowing, tying balloons. So what I like to do, and this is my method, and there's going to be a million ways to do it. So if you don't like this method, you can always go on YouTube. You can go on other classes on Faba TV, and you can see the different ways to create your balloon garlands. What I like to do is I like to create quads. And what quads are is we're going to take it back to school, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take 4 balloons, okay? And we are going to create what I call a quad. Now, I don't like all of my balloons when making a quad to be the same size. So what I'm going to do is just inflate 2 of them at the same time. And one can be bigger. So I have one big and one that's a little bit smaller. And then I just like to kind of press on it to make it a little bit more round and let a little bit of air out. Now, once you have 2 of them blown up, what you need to do is you need to take the necks, cross them over, and tie them together. So then you're not tying individual ones, you're just tying them together, okay? Just like this. And then I'm going to repeat that to make 2 more. So again, a little bit of air out. Then you're going to cross them over like this and tie them together. Okay. So once you have 4 balloons, okay, all you're going to do is you are going to, in the middles, just like this, just kind of twist them. So now when you look at it, you have 4 in the middle, okay? So now you have, oops, sorry about that. I'll move that. So now what you should have is 4 balloons side by side, okay? Just like this. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to make another set of quads, just like this. They can be different sizes. At this point, I don't want you to combine the 5 inchers. You can combine your 2 largest. Don't do the smallest ones until we get to the end, because those are gonna be like cilantro, like garnish. So you'll put this one to the side, or if you have your ring set up, you can always use your ring as a holder, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's make another quad. So once you get used to tying them together, I promise you can almost do it with your eyes closed. Again, just tie them. And now you have another quad. Okay, so this is where you're gonna start building. Some people use 260s. If you are not familiar with what a 260 is, it is your typical twisting balloon, okay? So this is what we use for balloon twisting. Now, they can be expensive. That's why I don't recommend using them for everything. I use them more to attach to walls, to the grid, but I mainly try to get strong enough to attach my balloons together so I limit the amount of 260s that I'm gonna use, because those are materials. So once you have one quad and another quad, I suggest you take one of the necks like this, whichever one you can get the most pull out of, and take the neck from your other quad, like find it inside of there. So what I want to see you do is take one neck and another neck and just tie them together, okay? Now, yeah, you got to have some strong fingers sometimes. Oops. So you're just gonna tie the necks together. That's it. So just like that. So that is going to be the beginning of your organic garland. So you're gonna start building on to this. Now the easiest way to get started is to do color blocking. So instead of mixing and matching colors all over the design, what you would do is you would just simply do a bunch of white, a bunch of red, whatever your color pattern is. And then you can fill it in later. So if you're just getting started, I would suggest the color blocking method because it's a little bit easier. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna build up more quads, and we're gonna continuously connect them by using the necks. So you're always gonna look inside and try to find a neck that is, has a little bit of elasticity to it. Now again, the reason that I like to connect quads to one another without using 260s is so that they're tight, so that I minimize the amount of holes that are inside of each cluster. Because the more holes, the more filling in you have to do. So I'm gonna just keep on building them. And again, if you don't have anywhere to hold on to these, that you're running out of room or it's just you, this is when you use your grid. This is when you use your balloon arch. So to simply add it to your balloon arch, all you're gonna do is just stick it directly on the pole. Then it acts as a holder for you, and you can continuously build to see how many clusters you're gonna ultimately need. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to keep on blowing. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like when you combine the largest balloons and ones that are a little smaller. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to blow my really large one. All right, so you see how big this one is compared to this one? Big, right? So this is gonna be your filler. So the Embellishing metallic ones tend to have this kind of oblong shape. So, I kind of just press it against my belly so that it makes it a little bit more round. And I'm going to still attach and tie them. Just like that, okay? So this is what you should have. And then you can use another large one and another smaller one to create that cluster, or you can just create that quad with 2 more smaller ones of different sizes. Okay, so this one's a little smaller, this one's a little bigger. Again, I just want you to tie them just like that, okay? Now again, you're gonna take these and you're gonna twist them like that, so you have another quad. And you see how much bigger this one is? That's okay. These again are gonna be what create that organic flow that make it look big and small and kind of just like free flowing. And that's what you want. So if you're gonna create the next quad, I suggest that you use another large one, maybe two, depending on your materials. You're gonna wanna play with it as many times to get to the point that you really like it. So again, I'm just going to stick that directly on there so that I have my hands free, and I will make another quad before I attach them to one another. Again, the reason that you're attaching them to one another is so that you don't have a lot of gaps. You can always take it off of the pole, attach them together, slide it back on. This is gonna be kind of like act as an extra hand for you, which is sometimes necessary. All right. Again, tie them just like that, and this time I will make two large ones. Okay, so I have two. If you want to put a little bit more air, to maximize the size of them, right? If you're gonna pay that much, might as well. So now I'm just gonna tie these, and then again, now you should have these. You're gonna tie this one together, twist it together. So now you have this big one. I'm gonna take my gold right off of my ring, and again, I'm just going to take the necks. Then I'm just gonna take a neck right here and take another neck here, and I'm going to tie them together. So now what you have is this big old cluster that again, you're simply going to stick directly onto your ring. So don't worry if it's not creating the perfect shape yet. What you're gonna do is you're gonna build all your clusters to your desired shape, and then we're gonna attach them together, and we're also gonna add those little embellishments. So what I'm gonna do to save each of you some time is I'm just simply going to continue to blow up the balloons, and again, I'll do a quick time lapse of just pushing them on here until we get to the point where we're gonna start adding all of the different little clusters. Okay, all right, let's keep on going, guys. Okay, so now that we have the colors that we're going to use, if you are going to embellish using any foils, okay, so there's two types of balloons. There's latex balloons, which are the ones behind me, and then there's mylar balloons, which are made out of mylar, or also known as foil balloons. So they are a great way to embellish any type of art, so you can match it to anyone's theme. And most of the time, they're not that expensive, especially if you buy them ahead of time, say on Amazon. You do not have to get them inflated with helium. That's another really good thing. The downside to them is that if you inflate them too fast, then they can pop. So what I suggest is starting off with your blower and then finishing it with a handheld pump, like this. Like 90% of the way, and then I just take my handheld pump and then I push it in there and just gently start blowing until I get most of the creases out, okay? It's very easy for these to explode, so I would highly recommend, especially if you only have like one or two, then please don't overinflate. So you just want it to be full. You just don't want it to be over full. So the way that you know that you're almost there is when you start working out some of these wrinkles, okay? And that the top, where it was the softest, is now nice and full. Okay, so now I have my Mylar balloon. This is where your 260s come in, okay? So what I like to do is I like to tie one end of the 260 in like a kind of a hole. I slide it over and then I make it tighter, okay? And the reason that you like to do it on the 260s is so you can slide it through your the rest of your balloons, okay? So on the other end of the 260, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to inflate some 5-inch quads, okay? So you can do them on here or you can do them with a hand pump. They just blow up a lot faster. So I still want them to be different sizes and you don't want them to be so big. So once you make a quad, just like you did your larger ones, a lot of people like to make them really small. Then you have these, you just twist them together, take one of the necks, or just take the other end of your 260, slide it through, and make a knot so that it attaches to that quad, okay? So now this is what you should have. So now all you have to do is take your 260, just like this, and you can just slide it through. So what it will do is it's going to start holding your entire design together. So, okay, so now you see it holds this up nice, right, upright, as if it has helium in it. And now I can start moving my balloons closer to fill in any of those holes. So using your 260s, that is going to be the way that you create fillers in any of those extra openings, and it starts making the whole design come to life. So let's add another Mylar balloon. All of the different elements coming together by combining these little clusters. As you see here, you can create those fillers. The great part about balloons is that you can move them. If you feel that this large one should be a little bit in the back, all you have to do is adjust them by moving them. Balloons are very flexible. So what I suggest you do is create all of your quads and then position them on your ring and then move them around. Because you're not attaching them with fishing line or you're not securing them just yet, you don't have to worry about them not being able to be moved. You can create that look, adjust it while you're looking at your design. Now, if you need extra stability, that's when I suggest when you're all done and everything is positioned that you can secure using 260s, secure any of your clusters together. Now, if you're going to be constructing this inside, you won't have to worry about it moving, or you're not going to have to worry about securing too much, because most of the time, once it's positioned on the ring, it's not going to move at all. So you're very lucky when working in indoors. Now, outdoors is a whole nother class, which we'll explain next. So I hope that you enjoy this fast, quick tutorial on how to use your balloon ring. Again, we went over the different size balloons and how to create this organic look using just a small $20 Amazon blower and an assortment of balloons. Now you probably saw while I was creating that one of the balloons popped. That is one thing about Amazon balloons, is that they are very inconsistent. So sometimes your Mylars will pop, which is why I highly recommend you get a hand pump and you make it super simple and just blow them very gently. So again, thank you so much for joining me here, Heather at Silly Farm. This is our brand new balloon ring, and I wanted to show it to you guys to show you the possibilities are endless. You guys are all entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, so I'm convinced that you can take this, run with it, upsell all your parties another $250. It'll cost you about $25 in balloons once you start building up your inventory. So it's a really great markup, not that much extra work. It'll add so much value to your business. Great way to show off all of your skills and to just add more value. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys enjoy this class on Fabit TV and Silly Farm, and can't wait to see what you create. Don't forget to tag me. Bye guys.